Welcome. This is Nerdy Dark Chocolate Live here with LDR Racing, and we have an event for you tonight. We are racing at the Circuit de Catalunya, a gorgeous track, a track I actually wish I was racing at tonight, but I am not because I'm here telling you all about the race. But yes, we're here at the Circuit de Catalunya for the race this evening. We have a great show for you today. We've got some fantastic drivers who are going to be on track very shortly, letting you know exactly how it is and who's the fastest of the fast. I don't know, I went to the screen, but my apologies. So we are here and we've got an hour of racing. It is a timed event, so that does make things a little bit complicated with commentary in terms of letting you know where people are on track, but stay tuned, it won't be too difficult to follow. As of right now, we do have qualifying on, and unfortunately in this game we can't show you qualifying, but I can still give you the times as they are right now. So first off, we have CMS on pole position with a 1 minute 30.22, followed by Red Rum just under a second behind, followed by J Double, then Morgan, Big Ed, Coloroko, Knockoff, No Thumbs, Patty, and sorry, Patty's where the next class starts. I apologize. Ooh, this order's getting all over the place. Wait, it's updating. I don't know what's happening. All right. So Knockoff is the cutoff for the first class. And then our next class of drivers, we got No Thumbs, followed by Pat, about 7 tenths a second back. Then Rich, Trooper Zero, Salty, frickin' AJ, Papa Schnitz, and that is the grid. So we got 7 in each tier. We got 14 drivers here tonight. This should be jam-packed, and with a tight track, it also makes the racing that much more intense, because you never know who's going to be passing who at any given time, especially multi-class. These slow guys typically get passed quite quickly. But as we confirm here, this is the starting order. CMS, Red Rum, J Dubs, Morgan, Big Ed, Coloroko, and Knockoff. And then we have No Thumbs, Patty, Rich, Trooper, Salty, Frickin', and Papa. I love the fact that on this grid we have so many different makes competing. They're all quite about the same pace, but you can definitely see at certain tracks that certain cars perform a lot better than others. So CMS rocking the Penske Motorsports Porsche, followed by Red Rum in the number 2 V Series Cadillac. Then we have the Lamborghini. Now, anyone who's been in our previous races knows that Cam talks a mean game about the Lamborghini. He says this is absolutely the best car in the game. His poor performances haven't shown it's the best car, but maybe it's coming in time. He's just going to get more comfortable in it. But we do have Jada put it P3 here on the grid. Then we have Morgan followed in the BMW, which is then followed by Big Ed Dog in the Acura. Now, me personally, I don't like the Acura, but he seems to love the car, and he's doing quite well with it. Last up, or second last up, we have Coloroko in the Cadillac, and last on the grid in this tier, oops, click the button 1 too many times, is Knockoff in the last Cadillac on the grill. Love that orange and black paint job, very reminiscent of the McLarens in F1. Then, on pole position, we have No Thumbs with a 139.6. That's a quite blistering lap in that Mustang. Then he's followed up by Patty in the Mercedes AMG. Second row on the grid, we have Rich in the Aston Martin. Now this Aston Martin seems to be a boat on the straightaways. Takes corners decently, but not a lot of top speed. Closing out the second row, we have the NSX of Trooper. Next, we have Salty in the second Mustang. Then we have frickin' AJ in the Audi. Once again, loving that orange and black paint job. And then closing out the grid, we have Papa Schnitz. To answer your question, Seb, when you get to 20,000 points, you get a free subscription to my OnlyFans. In all honesty, though, we have suspended some of the points rewards because we haven't been streaming consistently. But now that we're going to be back up and running, I'm glad you like it. Now that we're back up and running, We will start adding in some reward systems and some perks for all the points that people have accumulated for watching our streams. Definitely appreciate the support and hope you do well on track today. Now, with this grid today, we do have a couple new drivers, so their pace is going to be interesting to see. I have no idea what the pecking order is. One thing I've noticed in this league is where you qualified definitely isn't necessarily where you're going to finish. In this series, there's so much strategies. There's those, with it being an hour race and it's being timed, not specifically laps, sometimes it's so hard to know exactly how to dial in the tire choices or even the fuel. But either way, with it being multi-class, getting held up in traffic sometimes can make a huge difference with these guys. So seeing what these guys do on track today is going to be interesting, to say the very least. So I talk about the difference in these vehicles, and you can see right here on the right side of the screen that there's a huge performance difference between these cars. And if you look at comparatively with the Porsche of CMS, speed, braking, and handling, as well as the acceleration, quite highly rated and scored. But then we go down to something like this, where the handling and braking are next to perfect, but the top speed of the Acura and acceleration are just dog shit. And then we show here the Cadillac top speed of a 7.4 compared to CMS's 8.3. It's only a 0.9 difference, but trust me, that does make a difference. And then when you also consider that most of the cars have great braking because they've upgraded their braking in these vehicles, which is obviously smart. The difference is going to be how you get out of the corner and how much speed you can get on the straightaways. And we definitely see that in a situation like this, the Porsche has an advantage over most of the other cars in top speed. So on a track like this where there's only really one real opportunity to open it up on that front straightaway, will that advantage equate to much? I guess we'll find out once we get on track, which we're going to see in about 2 seconds here. In classic Forza fashion, we got the rolling start to set us off here. 2, 1, and we're rolling. Already we got some big changes. CMS down to P2. Bad launch off that line. In the GT3 class, we got Patty dropping down 2 positions. Ooh, looks like Patty spun. Let's take a look what happened here. Patty is in the dirt. That's a horrible start to the race. Well, that's salty. My bad. Pat's in the Mercedes. There must have been contact there. We might see this in the steward's office after the race. Let's go on up front with Red Rum. There's a nice little gag of cars here. We're going 3 cars into this corner here. CMS already looking to get that position back from Red Rum, standing nice and close. CMS is a veteran at this track. He knows this track very well. He spent a lot of time racing here in F1, so he knows the layout quite well. CMS hasn't had a win since the first race, and I know he's going to definitely want to get back onto the top step of the podium. Will tonight be his night? Let's see how strategy pays out. At the back here in GT3, we got Seb and Patty battling it out. These rivals have been racing with each other quite a bit. They've spent a lot of time with each other on track. Ooh, nice move by Pat. Getting up to P4. Let's see if he can put together a recovery drive today to make up for that first lap incident. As you can see, the top of the screen is already quite a gap between the 2 groups of cars here. Quite expected. I suspect in about 9 laps, we'll start to see some of these cars getting overlapped. CMS, making a pass lead. I missed it. Oh, in the background, it looks like Patty's making some more moves here. He's battling it out with Frickin'. Looks like he's got the position back. Patty's up to P3. He's making his way through this field quite quickly. Looks like CMS has already opened up quite the gap on Red Rum. So whatever issues he was having in that first lap, which made him lose the lead, don't seem to be plaguing him right now. Considering his qualifying time was only about 0.7 of a second faster than P2, it's actually quite impressive to see him open up this gap already. Maybe Red Rum made a mistake. I'm not quite sure what happened, because very clearly I missed it. So in Group 1 here, we got Knockoff fighting with Ed. Will Knockoff be able to make a move into this corner? Or sorry, Big Ed make a move into the corner against Coloroco? I apologize. He's looking, but he does not take advantage. So Patty's in P3 trying to hunt down Trooper, who's got quite the gap to him already. Salty in the Mustang currently holding up the rear there, trying to catch Papa Schnitz, who did qualify last today. Coloroco still defending from Big Ed Dog. Big Ed Dog looks like he went a little bit deep there. Now, I wasn't here last week, so I do apologize if this is inaccurate information, but Morgan is a new driver. Holding himself in P3 in his first race is phenomenal. It's very typical in this league for drivers to podium or even win on their very first race. I'm not sure why that happens, but it's very common. So I'm definitely expecting to see him on the podium at the end of this race. J-Dub's down 4 positions, not having a great race. That Lamborghini isn't really coming alive in this race. Like I was saying before, Cam tells us that the Lamborghini is the best car on the grid, but in the races we've seen thus far this season, it seemed like it is the exact opposite. But hopefully, at some point this season, they can prove us wrong, give us a win, maybe get on the podium. We'll find out. Patty's still trying to make up some ground to Trooper. From what I can see visually, since I don't have deltas, it doesn't look like he's making up much ground, but he's also not losing anything at least, staying pretty equidistant. So at this point, if you can't get him on raw pace, you might be able to get him with strategy. No thumbs though. I believe this is his first race in this league, and I gotta say I'm liking the paint job on that Mustang. That is fire. He's new to this, and what was I saying about new people in the league? They win or podium on the first race, and he's currently holding down P1, and he's got quite the gap too. He's comfortably in P1 as well. So the nice thing with being in open air and not having to battle people, you can just hit your lines and do coil lap after coil lap and basically pull away. So he's definitely doing what he needs to do to get that victory. Let's see if he can hold this up for another 54 minutes. And comparatively in the front, we got CMS pulling away from the rest of the grid as well. Red Rum looks like he's at least 7 seconds back. Red Rum struggled to keep it on the track. Ooh, a little bit of a drift there. Snap, he caught it. Good job. And we got Morgan in the BM Dubs. Honestly, not a fan of the look of that car. Not the paint job, but just mean like the overall BMW itself. Ooh, Big Ed Dog went wide there, almost kicked up some dirt. Knockoff is chasing him down, though. I think he made a mistake on that last corner. He's about to pay for it here, and Knockoff is through. Big Ed Dog carrying a little bit too much speed in the last corner. At this rate, looks like J-Double might be able to catch him as well. Ooh, Patty up to P2. I missed that. Patty finally gets Trooper. Congratulations. This recovery drive is complete. He's exactly where he started. So what that means for the team C1P1, is they currently have a driver in P2 and a driver in P1. They'll be scoring some major points for the team today. All right, so it looks like we got about a 7-second gap between P1 and P2 here. Patty is going to want to close down that gap quite quickly. He doesn't want No Thumbs to start running away with this if he has any chance at getting that dub in Group 3. CMS in the pits already. Okay, 6 minutes in, those tires are done. What does Red Rum do? Red Rum is staying out. So Red Rum will inherit the lead. What's Morgan do? Morgan stays out as well. So I wonder if CMS was running low fuel. So CMS should return to track dead last in the heat, but he's the first one to pit, so he'll regain that position once everyone else makes their stops as well. Let's see how his strategy pans out today. Let's check in on Big A Dog working with Colorado here. I feel like Big Egg Dog is been in his position for quite some time, not really gaining on Colorado. Maybe he's just settling in. He's not trying to make the move right now. He's going to be patient. Try to go after that podium later because J-Dubs is hot on his tail. If he makes a mistake, J-07 will definitely be able to capitalize on that. Looks like he's getting closer and closer with each second here. CMS already hot on the back here, already looking to pick off knockoff Z. Let's watch this. All right, so we got CMS back at the P4 with the pit stops that have happened thus far. Morgan, Colorado, and J007 have not pitted. So I'm assuming once they do hit to the pits, it'll give them an opportunity to recapture the lead. Morgan, though, got a pretty decent gap, looking like he's just about to start overlapping Papa Schnitz. Will Papa Schnitz make it easy? Nope, he does not. Hitting that apex like he wasn't even there. All right, we got Patty and Trooper in the pits, making their first stop of the night. In Group 3, Rich inherits the lead. Colorocco has entered the pits, letting CMS inherit P2. He's quite a ways from J007. Morgan's got a very comfortable lead. But if CMS can make the pass on J007 before he gets to the pits, that'll be a real good testament to his position on track and lock in that top 2 finish for him today. Although Morgan isn't far enough away that if he pits, he's going to keep the lead. So looks like CMS is still P1. Papa Schnitz still not making it easy for anyone to get by him. Only 2 cars on track have penalties so far. Keeping it nice and clean. This isn't a track people typically pick up too many penalties at. Easy to keep within the lines, for the most part. That last corner is quite tricky. I don't know what happened to Pat, but that's not ideal for the race. Ooh! Oh, that was almost a race-ending collision. J-Dubs is not going to like that. Ooh, J-Dub might have damage. Oh no. Yeah, Patty definitely reversed on the track. Was an unsafe rejoin. You might see that in the steward's box. Seb in chat saying, dude, I swear this car is so slow. I can't even catch the top guys even a little. Yeah, I was actually just talking about that car, Seb. It looks like it's a boat. Ooh, J-Debs. He definitely has damage. Oh no. Hopefully he can get that to the pits before he gets any more damage and get that repair so he can get back out there. All right. Will he pit? Clearly he's struggling. And here he comes. All right, so hopefully he can recover his race. Morgan's in the pits as well for his first stop. So now we have 3 cars on track with penalties. We got Morgan, Big Ed Dog, and Rich. CMS back into P1. We got 43 minutes left in the session, and we're starting to get a little dark here. Nighttime at this track should be pretty entertaining. Patty also in the pits. Maybe he had some damage from that collision as well. Papa Schnitz in here as well. It's still early in the race that if Pat's pace is top notch, he might be able to recover and get back on the podium. Rich says he's struggling as he's currently leading the race, but only time will tell. We got 42 minutes left in this session. Plus, the driver dynamics at night are completely different than they are today. I'm not sure if a lot of these guys use Racing Line. If you do, that makes it a little bit easier, but if you don't, the racing at night, it's a whole new ballgame. People's pace can change drastically, even with Racing Line. Your references to each corner kind of go out the window. So let's see how the night pans out, which should be starting here very shortly. I feel like Red Rum is a lot closer to CMS than he has been in the past. Looks like they're only separated by about 2 seconds. No Thumbs leaving lots of room for Red Rum. That's some great awareness from him in that corner to get out of the way to not cause a collision. Looks like Papa Schnitz is on the prowl, trying to possibly make a move on Patty here. I think he's going to be too far away at the end of this straightaway to do anything with. But he's definitely keeping him honest. There's quite the gap for Pat between himself and Salty up front. Looks like Pat is slowly starting to pull away from Papa Snitch. Rich is entering the pits. No Thumbs inherits the lead. And I want to preface this again. New guy in the league. I believe this is his first race. And once again, I wasn't here last week, so I do apologize if I am incorrect in that knowledge. But he's looking pretty good to finish on the podium or at least get the win. Right now, with Pat potentially being taken into contention because of damage and Rich struggling with his car, No Thumbs is looking pretty good for the dub at this moment. But as you can see on the screen, the lights are on, night is upon us, and things are going to get interesting. Or at least I hope so. Now it looks like Red Rum is still able to keep CMS honest. He's not too far away. Definitely within striking distance. CMS makes any mistake at this point, Red Rum is going to be there to capitalize on it, so CMS is not running away with this victory. It seems in this stint, Red Rum has been able to catch up to CMS quite easily. I wonder if there's an offset of tires, an offset of fuel. We'll see at what times they take their next pit stops, if that was part of the strategy, or if just Red Rum's just get a little bit more comfortable with the car and able to find a little bit more pace in this part of the race. We got Colorado here chasing down Morgan. Trooper looks like he's staying out of the way there for Morgan. Will he make the pass just as easy for Colo? Colo looking to go around the outside, gets through no problem. And I could be mistaken, but it looks like he's gaining a little bit on Morgan up front. We might be in for a battle here. Rich says he's struggling. Says he's got no pace. Currently P3. Frickin' is quite a whiles away from him. Not really much of a threat. Salty and Pat are still quite far away from each other. I don't think Pat's gaining much time. I could be wrong. I don't have deltas. I'm just looking visually and off of memory. But we both know I have a memory of a goldfish, so I could be wrong with that as well. All right, the distance to between Colo and Morgan seems to have opened up slightly, not by much. Our Group 3 guys are all pretty separated. No one's really battling on track with these guys. Colo and Morgan seem to be the only two cars really on track. Red Rum and CMS are still pretty close. They're staying pretty equidistant. CMS is about to make a pass here on Papa Schnitz, I believe. No, it's on his teammate Patty, so that should be an easy pass, which they're going to do a little teamwork here. I guarantee you Pat's going to let CMS through easily and then possibly play a little bit of a blocking game with Red Rum behind just to help CMS open up a little bit of a gap. Let's see what Pat does here. Now, based off of where they are, he might not be able to do much. So straight away, hold on a second. Red Rum's in the pits. So yeah, I'm definitely suspecting he either had low fuel, soft tire, or both, which is why he was able to close that gap to CMS. But let's see how this pans out for strategy. Oloroco dived into the pits along with Big Ed Dog. Morgan up to P3. All right, we got 4 drivers with penalties. Seb saying, how does this car feel better with less grip than more grip? Well, that's one of those things. If your car is experiencing less grip as a whole, the back end typically will slide out a little bit more. Some people prefer a car with a little bit oversteer, and maybe that's your driving style. I don't really know much about your driving style. I haven't seen your setups or ever used one of your setups to see what you typically like, but maybe that's your cheat code going forward. Set your car up a little loose on the rear end and you'll be able to find some more pace. Maybe the Aston Martin performs better when it's a little bit more snappy. I mean, that's exactly how Max Verstappen likes his cars, so why not try it out yourself, right? Because from my personal experience, I like a pointy front end. I like the back end to be a little bit nervous. That's where I find my pace. People like CMS like to have a car that's more understeering, and they find other ways through some dubious methods. I shouldn't say it like that because it's not like bad or anything, but he's very skilled with the wheel and the pedals, and he's got other ways to make the car rotate for him. So it really depends on your driver style, and that's the beauty of racing is finding that setup or that style of setup that works for you and using that to exploit the car to make it even faster. And once you once you open up that knowledge of finding out exactly how you like your car set up, it's game changer. It changes exactly how everything works, because it took me forever to figure it out. I thought I liked a stable car, I thought I liked the even and balance, and then I had a pointy setup and it unlocked a new world for me. All right, so the gap between CMS and Red Rum is quite substantial, but Red Rum did also just recently make a stop. The gap between Red Rum and Morgan's quite close. J-Dubs off on his own along with Colo and Knockoff Z. Now, no thumbs, a very healthy gap to Seb, who's got a healthy gap to Trooper, who's got a decent gap to Freakin', decent gap to Salty, which has got a huge gap to Patty, who's then got a pretty healthy gap down to Papa Schnitz. At this rate, based off of these gaps, unless Patty's able to put in a phenomenal strategy, I don't see him catching Salty anytime soon. We got Koloroku in the pits. He's going to lose the P6 to Knockoff. As I assume Knockoff is not going to... Wait, did I say Knockoff? I meant P2 to Red Rum, but Red Rum will be overlapping him, so that's not really losing the position. Wait, did I have the wrong person in the pits? Oh, it's CMS in the pits. How did I get that mixed up? So CMS takes another stop there. Keeps the lead to Red Rum. Now it looks like the gap between the two guys is very similar to where it was before. So even though Red Rum came in the pits before CMS, the undercut didn't seem to do anything in terms of pace advantage. So CMS definitely wasn't running his tires down. He definitely had a lot of grip at the end of that stint. Rich in chat responds, whatever tune is rated 5 stars is my tune. I mean, that's one way to do it. It does limit you to driving a setup that's tuned to someone else's driving style. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. I personally could not do that. Patty getting passed by his teammate again. Will Patty be the Minister of Defense here against Red Rum? I guess we're about to find it here very shortly. They're a part of the track where he could make a difference and hold him up by a second or two. Red Rum dives to the inside, and he's through cleanly. No hold up there. Oh, what was that? CMS loses it out of the final corner. He hits the wall. Does he have damage? Well, that's unfortunate. So far, the car looks good. Looks like he's just flying straight. Well, that makes things a little interesting. We got J-Dub in the pits. Looks like he's lose position to Koloroku, who's on the same amount of pit stops. Knockoff Z's coming around the second to last corner, but he's way too far back to be able to get the jump on J-Dubs here, so Knockoff will stay in last place. So it looks like Rich might be gaining on No Thumb. I'm not sure if No Thumb just recently took a pit stop, which is what closed the gap. Let's see. Pits. Yeah, that's what it is. Seb is a pit stop behind. Patty gets by Salty due to Salty taking a pit stop, I believe. So we're just over halfway through the session, 29 minutes left. Patty is in the pits again. So Salty should, I think with that gap, take the position back. Just trying to time that out. Yeah, so, but they should be pretty close. So then he saw, sorry, I can't even talk. Pat should be able to take a pretty decent run at Salty here. Howdy from Cam and chat. What's going on? He misses from action. We had CMS holding out a pretty decent lead. He looks like he binned it coming out of the last corner, allowing Red Rum to come through. Your boy Knockoff is holding down P7 in the other Lambo. I still don't see what you're saying about this car. It does not seem like it's the fastest on the grid. And we had Patty qualify P2 in the race, and then on the opening lap, I believe there's some contact between himself and a couple of the drivers, pushed him down to second last on the grid. He got his way back up to P3, and then I'm not sure if it was contact or he spun on his own, but he fell back down the order. And yeah, so that is where we are now. Patty's trying to climb back through the order, fighting with Salty. CMS is trying to climb back through the order, fighting with Red Rum. Rich is complaining about his car and saying that it is slow. And now Cam is saying he didn't say that the Lambo was the best on the grid. Lies. I got you on 4K, bro. The Porsche is the fastest. You just like how the Lambo feels. Gotcha. Either way, we have Red Rum with a pretty healthy lead over CMS. It's about 3 seconds at this point, and then the gap to Morgan is ridiculous. I don't see Morgan getting any higher than P3 unless something happens at the top. Big Ed Dog has been put on a pretty decent performance. He's had some pretty great battles on track, as now he's inheriting P3. Him and Coloroko have been battling pretty much all race. J-Dubs and Knockoff Z have been kind of on their own. Haven't seen anything crazy from these guys. No Thumbs, new driver, as we have in LDR fashion, leading in his first race, and he's got a pretty healthy gap to J-Dub, about 5 seconds, I'd say. And I don't see Rich closing that down because he's complaining his car's too slow. Trooper, though, he could be an outlier here. He might be able to fight for P2 if he can get a little bit closer to Rich, but it's hard to tell at this point. And then, yeah, we got frickin' Patty, A Salty, and Papa Schnitz close out the rear. Cam, based off of what you know of these drivers and the gaps on track thus far, who do you think's got it for Group 1? You think CMS will be able to claw back the distance to Red Rum, which I said's about, well, let's see here. Yeah, 5 seconds. Or can Red Rum hold him off for the next 25 minutes? Bearing in mind, I guarantee you they both have 2 more stops to make. Also, Cam, how's your injury? I heard you go-karted a little bit too hard. So right now, I didn't realize this. Rich is in P2, but he's also got 1 pit stop less than everyone around him, except for Pat. He's got 2 less than him. I wonder if he'll be able to keep that position. Will he be able to get through this race doing 1 less stop than everyone else? Cam responds saying, I know CMS and you do too. That boy's going to push. He is going to push. He's going to give it everything he has. He hasn't been on the top step since race 1. The gap is looking pretty steady, but Red Rum is hitting some traffic. Red Rum is in the pits. How's CMS going to respond to this? Is CMS going to stay out like he did before? He is. So if CMS and Red Rum are on similar pit strategies within the next 3 laps, we're going to see CMS dive into the pits. All right. Is this, ooh, J-Dubs looking like he's catching Coloroko, sniffing that booty like he wants to eat a snack. Cam in chat saying, I'm okay, just a bruise or cracked rib. Hurts like a mother fudge, but I'll live. Just need a day or 2 to rest before I'm ready to race again. I feel you, dog. Speedy recovery. Big Ed Dog in the pits. J-Dubs definitely closing the distance to Coloroko. J-Dubs is sticking his own. Ooh, I thought he was faking it, but he looked like he legitimately going to try to dive into turn 1 there. That would have been a gutsy move. He would have been coming from way back. J-Dubs is not giving up. He's going around the outside. That's balls. Those are some big balls on him, J-Dubs. That's a fantastic move around that corner. Going around outside, there's tons of grip there, but the risk of being pushed wide or hitting the marbles, oh man, that takes cojones. Not gonna lie, might have been the pass of the race. You got modded. Holy nutsack. Yeah, that was good. That was a good move. Okay, so we still have Seb on track with one pit stop. Trooper behind him, already on his third. What's Rich playing here? What's his game? It seems to be working, so I can't knock it. Let's check in with Patrick, our resident Frenchie. He's kind of off by himself. Closest car to him on track is Frickin', who's easily about 10 seconds up the road from him. Cole Rocco in the pits for another stop. That'll be stop number 3 for him. J-Dubs, Morgan, and CMS are all on 2 stops. CMS in the lead again. What did I miss? Did he make a pass? Nope, there's definitely a pit stop. Red Rum. Oh yeah, I knew that. What am I saying? We literally just talked about this. So CMS, I suspect, in 2 laps will be in the pits. It's a hypothesis, a guesstimation. Not this lap, though. So last time, Red Rum did pit earlier than CMS. I was expecting a potential undercut, but based off the gaps, once CMS made his pit stop, looks like the undercut did not work. No cars close on track. We're kind of in the middle of a pit stop phase. Things might get bunched up shortly. I'm still waiting for Rich to make his next stop because this is a crazy strategy. He must be on hard tires and heavy fuel, which would make sense with his pace, but that's still wild. That is still wild. No Thumbs, though, doing a hell of a job leading out here. It's good. It's a lonely race, but sometimes you don't mind having a lonely race when you're out front leading the pack. Now, as you can obviously see, it is nighttime. We have about 20 minutes left in the race. I suspect it to be more pace differences with the nighttime racing. I was very clearly wrong. There have been no surprises, no real drama. It's been pretty clean here. So that shows you how much I know about GT racing. You know, I'm not a Mustang guy. Never have been, probably never will be. But the Mustang does sound fantastic. And the new Dark Horse, I'm going to tell you, it makes me hard. Gets me bricked up. I like it. Ooh. You know what this means? Oh! That was almost disaster for No Thumbs. Locks up, going into the pits, almost goes into the wall, caused himself some damage. Now, lucky he would have been on pit entrance, so the damage wouldn't have been too great in terms of time delta, since he would have been able to repair it right away. But that could have been something. That could have been something. Let's see if Rich stays out. I'm assuming he's going to. He should, based off of the distance, inherit the lead. I think he's... Nope, he's going in. He's finally going in. J-Dubs is also in the pits. All right. Surely to God, this is the lap that CMS comes in. Cam, I'm slightly biased, slightly. Could it be because you're a Ford employee? I don't know. That can't be it. Can't be it. I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt right here. Freaking let CMS through without any drama, but I'm telling you, CMS, he better be coming in, and he's not. He's not. This guy's crazy. Cam says no. Lies. Dude's definitely a Ford employee. I knew it. You smell that? It smells like a Ford employee. All right, let's see if there's any close battles on track. No. Pit stop phase has not been kind to any of us. Now, the gap between CMS and Red Rum is quite healthy. CMS should be able to make a pit stop at any time and still retain the lead. Cam says he's the area's best mobile tech. I don't know. I'm going to have to see your Yelp reviews. What are your reviews on Grindr? That's the mechanic app, right, Grindr? All right. Patty is actually not that far away from frickin'. And considering he just made a pit stop, he might be able to make a legitimate push here. We could potentially see Patty getting a P4 finish here today. He's got 17 minutes. So that's about, what, 8 laps? Can he lap about 2 seconds a lap faster than frickin' AJ? Might be a tall order. Might be a tall order. But if I know Pat, he can grind it out. Guaranteed right now, if Pat were to be listening to music while racing, he's listening to Pony by Genuine. That's his track. Seb not holding up CMS. CMS avoiding the pits like it's a plague. I don't know why. I said they're going to have 2 more stops. CMS is calling me a liar. He says I only got 1 more stop. He's going to push this for another couple minutes, make 1 final stop, and bring it to the checkered flag. We have 16 minutes left in this session as of this very point right now. And it should start to get lighter out. We'll finish in the sunrise. Or I should say dusk. No, dawn. Dawn. It's dusk at night, dawn in the morning. Yeah, sorry. I get confused. English is a hard language. It's the only language I know, but still, it's difficult. Papa Schnitz not having a great race today. Holding up the rear pretty much all race. At one point, he was holding down P6. I believe he was also involved in that turn 1 melee of vehicles. Now Salty in that second Mustang. I have to say, if I'm going to compare paint jobs from one Mustang to another, I'm going to have to say No Thumbs wins because his car is gorgeous. I dig it. I dig it. Doing a little drifting there. Makes it even more Mustang-y. Is that a word, Mustang-y? Ooh, CMS is finally in the pits. Where's Murder? Wow. I had that gap wrong. The undercut from Red Rum was enormous. Enormous. So here's the thing. Red Rum pitted quite a while ago. So he's definitely needing another stop. I can honestly see CMS running for 14 minutes on whatever tires he just threw on there if he was wise, which will give him a huge advantage in this closing stage of the race. We got 14 minutes left on the clock. See Reich in chat saying Code Red cars are gorgeous. Oh, yeah, they are. Oh, hell yeah, they are. Cam in chat saying, ooh, CMS is doing 1 less stop than Red Rum. I see the plan. It's a great plan. It might work. Legitimately, I think he cooked. I think he cooked. Morgan on 2 stops. So he's got a similar plan to CMS, I believe. He should be coming in shortly. 13 and a half minutes left on the clock here. Big Ed Dog, I think it's been a while since he's been in the pit, so he's probably making 1 more stop. J-Dub's definitely making another stop. Coloroco, I don't even know. Hesse? He cooked 8 and left 0 crumbs. That was the plan. That was the plan. Knockoff Z, love delivery, but delivery isn't matching the pace, my dude. Pick it up. Let's go. Be quick. It's even in the name. No thumbs. Okay, I can't say anything. He's driving a gorgeous car. It sounds phenomenal. And he's had a virtually flawless run to this P1 spot tonight. No issues, no drama. Trooper. He's had some drama tonight. Daddy P, Trooper. He's been hustling hard, to be honest. He had a couple of nice little bouts with a couple drivers, but P2 looks like it's firmly his. Rich, he's going to do the one less stop, I believe. I think that unfortunately P3 is the best he's going to get today, which is not bad by any means. It's just not what I think he was expecting after the race today. Big Ed Dog in the pits for Group 1. Frickin' is quite a while away. I don't think there's going to be any contention there. He tried one last stop, and I don't look like it's really going to work out for him tonight. Is there some damage on the back of the car? Am I seeing things? Yeah, I'm definitely seeing things. Okay, Patty got unlucky. That first lap melee really took him out of contention here. He was honestly looking at a P1, P2, but as of now, I think P5 is probably the best he can hope for. He's not going to go down between 6th and 7th. They're too far away. And I don't think as of now he's going to be able to make up the ground to Frickin', as Frickin' is literally a frickin' mile away. CMS back in the lead because who pitted? Red Rum. So CMS, 3 stopping it, while Red Rum 4 stopped it. Seems to be the plan. He can just hold up for 11 minutes. Even if the tires start to fall off that car, he can just drop his pace down like 2-3 seconds a lap, and he's still good. The gap between himself and Morgan is about 15 seconds. Red Rum, not Morgan, is about 15 seconds. Like, he's good. He's only got about 5 laps left in this race. He can take 2 seconds off the lap, preserve the tires, and keep up. Morgan in the pits now. Gonna lose position to J-Dub. Wait, what's J-Dub doing? Oh, I spoke too soon. J-Dub is in the dirt. Can he come back without damage to the car? He can. He just lost a shit ton of momentum. He potentially had the opportunity to make a pass on Morgan here coming out of the pits, and that opportunity is now lost. So I believe that J-Dub has consolidated himself to P4 for the race. No moves there. I'm not sure if he's going to make another pit stop. I'm not sure what his tire situation is, but Morgan is getting loose. That back end wants to step out of every possibility. He's got to shift that brake bias. Maybe he likes like that. Who knows?
10 minutes left.
That's right, 10 minutes left. You just heard it live and clear from that sassy voice. We're going to call her Patricia. Why? I have no good honest reasons. First thing that came to mind. Salty's in the pits. Oh, you know what? Papa Schnitz might be able to jump him, but I'm not sure if Papa Schnitz needs to make another pit stop. Looks like 3 pit stops is safe, but it depends on when he made it. Trooper in the pits. Where's Frickin'? He's too far back. So I think the top 3 for Group 3 are secure, with no change of lineup there. And I also believe the top 3 in Group 1 are pretty secure. No movement there. I also feel like most of the positions down the field are pretty much locked in. Salty making his final stop of the day. He's only got 9 minutes left in this race. Back to CMS in the Porsche, which is apparently the fastest car in the field. And I mean, we saw the stats here today. We know that's fairly accurate. Taking a very commanding victory here. There's a couple times it's called into question. He spun out, lost the lead to Red Rum, but due to a fantastic pit strategy, he's coming out on top. If he can keep that car between the white lines and point it in the right direction for the next 8.5 minutes, he's looking to get his second dub of the season so far. We're only at round 4, so for him to put off a second victory already is a phenomenal accomplishment. But it's CMS. Does CMS ever do anything half-assed? No. Does CMS ever underperform on a consistent basis? No, he doesn't. So this is kind of what we expect from him, to come in this, dominate, and leave a benchmark for other people to achieve, or to try to achieve. I also believe that with him finishing P1 today, it should put him back at the top of the standings in the drivers. And I think had Patty been near the top 2 or 3 positions, it might have put C1P1 at the top. But we'll have to see exactly how things pan out at the end of the race. J-Dub's making his final stop of the day. 7.5 minutes left in the race for him. I probably would have held out, considering the gap behind. But I mean, I'm also not too versed with this racing. I've had very little experience. I was supposed to be racing Code Red with my co-commentator, who unfortunately is sick tonight. Code Red Racing. We were racing. He was racing the Ferrari, and I was racing the McLaren in GT3. But we decided to step down and do some commentary so we can have these beautiful streams that have been brought to you by myself and C-Reg. Colorocco making one final stop. Again, boys, come on. 6 minutes left in the session. You couldn't hold out. This is like when you're hitting it from the back and your girl's like so close to nutting and you're like, nah, I gotta pull out because you couldn't hold it for like the next 3 seconds. Like, come on. Couldn't do 3 laps. Running the risk of losing the position. Cloro comes at P6. I guess there was actually a pretty big gap, so he had nothing to lose. C-Reich said, we stepped down because they want to smoke. I honestly don't know what that means. Is it because I'm tired? Fill me in. Didn't want to smoke. See, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah, they couldn't handle us on track. Code Red would have been P1 for teams. All right, we got 5 minutes left in the session. Unless a bomb explodes on track, I don't see any change of position. The closest cars on track are Trooper and what's his name, Rich, and even still, is Rich going to be lapping 3 seconds a lap slower than Trooper so he can get that pass done? I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
5 minutes left.
5 minutes. Cam says, hey, real quick, since y'all here, how's the team feeling for F1? Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not feeling confident. The end of last season for me was a shit show. It was a string of mistakes, no time to practice, and missed races. Really hindered my chances at the championship. Right now, I'm not feeling very fast. But, you know, a lot of times before the race, I say, hey, I'm not feeling it. And then I start racing, and it just feels good. So I'll let you know after the first race. This Thursday, by the way, anyone who wants to see some F1 racing on track, join us Thursday night, same time at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Tier 2. I guess it's just the tier race. It's just the F1 race. There are no tiers now. So, yeah, come join us Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have, I believe it is Cam and CMS doing commentary for us here. I could be wrong. I honestly can't remember. I'm too tired. I can't remember crap. It's a shit box. It's a Ferrari. No, the car is good. Honestly, it's the best car I've driven in F1 ever. So I can't complain about the car. If we lose, it's not because of the car. It's definitely because of me. But yes, we have 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this session. I don't suspect we're going to get anything too entertaining here. Red Rum pulling off a phenomenal drive. Honestly, he had a fantastic pace tonight. I think, unfortunately, he got done in by strategy. CMS coming in here doing one less stop than everyone else was a huge aid. Morgan followed his footsteps and did a 3-stopper as well, and he's locking down the end of the podium here. Every time I look at that car, that back end is stepping out. That looks like it is a handful. Like, look at this. dude, if he's caught anything more than a 5 Newton meter wheel, he's getting a full-on cardio workout after this race. Like this is bonkers. But anyways, phenomenal drive. Morgan's really been hustling that car around this track, so he deserves that P3 regardless of strategy or pace. He worked for it. We got J-Dub here, close up P4. Honestly, for a lot of this race, he was down in last place. He put in the work, he put his head down, and he got himself back up to P4, so congratulations to him. I'm sure he'd love to get more than that, but you know what? P4 at this point in the game, phenomenal drive from himself. Coloroco, at times, he seemed to have great pace. Him and a Big Ed Dog have been battling on and off throughout this entire campaign. And Coloroco, I know he's going to be disappointed with the P5. It's still a good finish for the team, but I know he would have wanted more out of that car. Same with Big Ed Dog. Big Ed Dog's been put into work. He had some great close battles with Coloroco. P6 isn't where you'd think you'd see him, but it is what it is. Knockoff Z, he's kind of been nowhere this race. No drama, no mistakes from what I've seen. Just maybe not feeling comfortable in the car, doesn't have the pace. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but that P7 is pretty much his finishing position locked in. Then we go down to Group 3. No thumbs. I don't know where you guys found this dude, but dude is locked in. From like, what, I think it was 6 minutes into the race, he was P1 and just pulling out a gap like he owned that position. So well-deserved victory. He put on a phenomenal drive, no issues, no drama, just pounding lap after lap after lap. Rich, again, as usual, comes into chat while on track, talking some shit about how his car's slow, and here he is pulling in a P2. Now, yes, he did save a butt ton of time by only making 2 pit stops instead of 4 like everyone else around him. So great strategy. Definitely pulled a play out of CMS's book, although I'd have to argue his play was a lot better since he took on an entirely one less stop than CMS did. So great drive from him. Trooper, doing status quo, doing the 4 pit stops. He's been battling on track with a couple of people. He's put in a phenomenal drive, and he's definitely deserving that 3rd place here. Frickin' has been kind of under the radar. Haven't seen much out of him, but P4, well deserved. Patty, not going to be happy. He is not going to like the finishing position he's in. He had so much potential. He had so much pace. He got taken out lap 1, like I said. So I'd love to see the replay from what happened there, because that was just a cluster. And then we close out with Papa Schnitz and Salty. We're kind of underperformed today, but let's go to the top. It is CMS taking home the overall victory. And then for the other division, we have No Thumbs taking out the victory for the Group 3 guys. So we'll probably have some guys come to the commentary box celebrating their victory. Phenomenal drive from all the boys here. The race started off pretty exciting. Midway through, we had some great strategy calls, and the race kind of fell a little bit flat. Not a lot of action, but unfortunately with these timed races like this, it's what happens. Cars get spread out, and there's no real way to bring them back. But either way, phenomenal drive from all the guys here. Let's see who comes to the comm box. Maybe myself today. Maybe no one wants to talk. What's the bev? It's Dr. Pepper. I had fast food tonight for dinner. Nothing special. I finally got some drivers trickling in.
Oh man, that was a race.
That was a race.
I don't know what happened, but my car would not turn as I caught you there, Sebi.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you. I was like, did he really spin with like 1 minute and 30 seconds left? No way.
The ultimate bottle job.
Congratulations to everyone here.
It was like
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your conversation.
No, go for it.
All right, well, congratulations, everyone here. Fantastic drives from all of you. Very contrasting strategies here. I want to talk to you guys about that as well. But definitely want to shout you out for putting on a great show tonight. But let's start off with our Class 3 guys. In third place, we got Trooper. Trooper, those last closing minutes of the race, you were catching Seb there. Did you think potentially you'd be able to get the pass done by the end of the race?
I knew I was going to be able to until I had him within 100, 200 feet of me, and for some reason, when I hit the brake, my car just did not want to stop and turn in that corner. And then when I started to hit the gas, it hard understeered on me and took me wide, and I spun it and completely lost it. And it wasn't anything that I'd experienced in any other part of the race, but I don't know, I was pretty bummed out by it, but it was a fantastic strategy by Sebi on that. I knew it was definitely going to be close. I realized that it was going to be that close kind of midway through. I'd actually considered kind of changing my strategy to see if I could get on hards just to last a little bit longer. But ultimately, just could not get it. And I feel a little lucky just to be up there in itself, just because Pat kind of spun around the second or third lap there, and he was flying too, so he had a lot of pace early on.
I was actually asked, were you part of that incident? Do you know what happened there? Or was it just a spin, or was there contact?
I do not know. I came around. He was already, miles ahead of me as far as his distance, but I came around the final corner, and he was kind of midway, halfway entered onto the track sideways. So I just imagine it's kind of the same thing that's been happening to me and possibly others. It's just coming around that, getting a little on the gas, and just fucking sends you straight into the wall there.
No, fair enough. That makes sense. All right, well, congratulations to P3. I know it's probably not what you're expecting, but I'm sure you're happy with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with it.
Perfect. No worries. Seb, P2. Now, I have to say, halfway through the race, when you came with a chat, when you were supposed to be racing, which I still don't understand how the hell you do this, but complaining about the car handling, and then you're here on the podium, P2, taking 2 less pit stops than most people around you. Phenomenal strategy call, by the way. Walk us through your race.
Okay. AJ laid out the template, and I don't care that others are going to hear this, but it's the template. You go on hards the entire race. The less pit stops and the more fuel that you put in at the start of the race, the better off you'll be if you can manage those tires quickly. If you can't, that's a different story. But if you can manage those hards, you can make 2 pit stops and be just fine by the end of the race. Now, Trooper, it was going to be super duper close, and I didn't know who was going to take it. I think he might have taken it if he did not spin, because we still had a minute 30 when he did, and he was like a second behind me, and he was on faster tires, so he probably would have took me, but that's okay. Lap 1, turn 1, garbage again. I saw the incident. I was actually in that incident. I was on the inside line, and we were 3 wide going into turn 2, I believe. The car on the outside and the car in the middle had some contact, and that resulted in the car in the middle hitting me on the inside, and then they spun. So not quite sure who was involved in that, because I don't stream, I don't get clips, but yeah.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for the update. At least I know there was definitely contact. It wasn't just a silly mistake, just getting on the throttle early kind of thing. But congratulations, P2, well-deserved. The strategy played out great. I saw it coming, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, man, smart move. 1,000 IQ right there. No worries. No thumbs. There seems to be a tradition in LDR racing where new drivers on debut either podium or win. And if I'm not mistaken, this is your first race with us, and here you are on the top step. Congratulations, fantastic drive. You had an amazing pace, got the fastest lap of the race for your group, which is 140.4. You had no issues. You seem to have the fairy tale race, but from your point of view, how are things?
Cat was okay.
Just okay.
That was it. Just okay.
Gotta say, I love the livery. Your Mustang looks absolutely gorgeous on track, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It only took 2 days.
Well, it's time well spent. It looks fantastic. But yeah, just you had no issues all race. Just everything was a plan. Just hit coil lap after coil lap, no drama.
Well, I started on mediums and then went hards and then went medium, soft.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
Cab is okay, but that's it.
well, you definitely had pace over everyone else here. Your fastest lap is 2 seconds faster than the closest person to you. So you definitely had time to spare with making all those extra pit stops. So congratulations on the victory. I'm sorry it was a boring race from you. You seem to be out there by yourself, but a well-deserved P1. Congratulations.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, so let's go down to our Group 1 guys. Morgan, fantastic drive. Honestly, you look like you had a drama-free race. Just basically be able to hit the marks, put your head down, get some fast laps in there. Walk us through the race.
You muted. Ooh.
Morgan.
And I know that he had some mic problems, so I don't know if he solved it or it's even worse. So.
Okay, well, either way, if we can't speak to you, maybe next time. But Morgan, congratulations. Great drive. P3 is well-deserved. And hope to see you on track next week as well. Red Rum, you put on a fantastic show. At times, I didn't know if you're going to win the race, come P2. I think if it wasn't for strategy, you might have been able to sit on that top step. But to walk us through your race, you put on quite the drive today.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the strategy was not a bad one. Just I had to make so much more pace than what I was supposed to in regard to CMS. Had to cover basically 30 seconds, and I was barely putting 310s, 410s, while he was on hard and I was on medium. So the lack of pace, but I couldn't put those hard on. I was losing like 2 seconds a lap just to put those hard. So it was covering the extra pit stop for going all medium. But it's I think it's more the lack of pace that was causing that, and I was quite sure I will finish second after the qualification, because I think he put like 1.6 second on the pole. So I was like, okay, it's good. Let's hope for some crash. It did happen, but not as hard as I would have hoped to be. So I don't think he had any damage on his venture around against the wall. But yeah, it was the beginning of the race was good. I mean, the fight, I was able to take the lead early on, and I knew he was on soft, so I was trying to hold him as much as I could, but no way I could have basically taking him for a couple of laps ahead of him. So yeah, that's made me my race. I will say a bit on my own, but it still good.
Yeah, no,
a nice run from CMS.
Yeah, no, great battle on track. P2, you can't really be too upset about that, but honestly, phenomenal drive. Well-deserved victory. Congratulations. Or, sorry, well-deserved P2. Congratulations.
Thanks.
CMS, second win of the season. You definitely had us in there when you had that little bit of a spin. Wasn't sure what was going to happen, whether you'd be able to recover, but very clearly you did. You shut us up real quick, forever doubting you. So congratulations on the victory. Walk us through your race. What were the issues?
The issue was my thinking going into the last couple of races, and the way I was setting up the car just wasn't what the car needed from me. All that time I put into Spa, I built a car that pretty much drove like an F1 car, and I thought, what, if we're coming back to Spain, it's a track that I know how F1 drives it, and if I can mimic a feel around this track the way that I used to in F1, that's what I'm going to get the most comfortable drive out of, and that's kind of what led to that quali lap. And then it just came to, well, what's the race strategy? Because I've been, feeling like I've been putting in good laps, but I'm just always a step or two behind Red Rum, Morgan, and the guy not here today, Vaughn. So I pretty much built a setup to try to run hards, and I never got a full race stint in this whole week to do practice, so I didn't know what nighttime was going to be like, which explains the trip in the grass. Just no grip around that final corner as fast as I wanted to take it, and the hards kind of stepped out on me. But that's why I was running just maximum aero as high as I could, and just had a car that felt, like I said, just as good as it had been in Spa and never since then. So I'm glad that I was back one again with the number 5 Porsche 963, and happy the team got me the feel that I needed, and it was fun. It was a good race with Red Rum. I had no idea how the strategy was going to work out. I knew I wanted softs at the beginning, just to get the feel that I had in quali for the first stint, and then just see if I was going to do hards or mediums. And Red Rum was always close to me when we were pitting or exiting pits. I didn't know if he was doing that extra stop that I was going to do, so it was fun. It was a cool little strategy battle for the first like 40 minutes, and then when I kind of figured he was doing that extra stop, I'm like, okay, I got this one then.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that strategy helped you out. But the way you had great pace, you got the fastest lap in your group by over a second. Actually, no, I'm wrong. J Dubs was pretty close to you. Yeah, just saw that. But no, either way, fantastic drive. You had us worried there. But yeah, congratulations. I'm sure C1P1 could use the points.
Yeah, we're close in that team's championship, so hopefully we can tighten that back up. I gotta go catch Red Rum again in the drivers' championship because he had a good run of races there. So hopefully the calendar favors some more battles between him and I, because I always like going wheel to wheel. Morgan, still haven't had a chance to go against him. I think he got caught up in a GT3 incident at some point in the race. He's a little bit behind Red Rum. Red Rum just seems to have that consistency, man, and that's what we love to see here. So when Vaughn comes back, I'm sure we'll have another 3 or 4 way fight for the next couple of races.
Yeah, definitely can't wait to see it. For everyone at home, this is it for us tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday for round 5. So you honestly don't want to miss it because we're going to have this action, if not better. But anyways,